So, good day everyone, I'm Carlosand and I am your reporter. So, but before we start our topic, I have one question. So, kasi yung nakita sa screen So, anyone, sino mag-volunteer? So, how about you, sir? That's correct. How about you, ma'am? That's correct. So, all of your answer are correct. So, based on the screen is, kana sila is nanay mga special needs or special education nga kailangan na to alagaan, i-care as a teacher. So, let's proceed our topic for this morning. So, our topic for this morning is all about what is inclusive education. So, inclusive education, in addition, inclusive education is carried out in a common learning environment that is an educational setting where students from different backgrounds and with different abilities learn together in an inclusive environment. So, meaning, gibo ni siya para sa students with different disabilities daw kay maka-learn together even though they're different in the same learning environment. So as a teacher, we need to treat the student fairly. So next is inclusive education is essential to achieve social equity and it's a constituent element of lifelong learning. So it also to prove or to show social equity or kanang fairly to ang student. So next is a common learning environment is not place where students with intellectual disabilities or other special needs learn in isolation from their peers. So meaning, dili ginapasabot na sila sa isa ka school na naay kapansanan or na disabilities is wala na sila karapatan muskwela. Remember, we as a student, we need to learn and interact to other people. Learning new things give us or boost our confidence. If we learn, we gain knowledge and ideas. So next is inclusive education is intended to create a learning environment in a different school that is center of learning and educational system as a caring, nurturing, and supportive educational communities where the needs of all students are met in accordance with their needs. So meaning nahimo po ni siya para mag-centralize o teaching system as caring, nurturing, and supportive educational communities or i-focus diri to met the students' needs. Also, as a teacher is that we should take care of our student and guide. And being a teacher of special education is not easy and it could be challenging.
Good day everyone, I am Herlene Joy Asruelan, the second reporter of Group 1. So I will discuss to you the benefits of inclusive school communities. As stated by Al-Shamari, Faulkner, and Forlin 2019, effective inclusive education practices should incorporate ideas from different theories so that teachers can successfully make curricular and instructional decisions for each student. This means that we need to incorporate from different theories so that teachers will be able to fit a curricular or instructional decisions for their student because there is not only one disability in the world. So, we need to be careful giving a student an activity kasi if it isn't fit sa kanyang disability, baka magka-complicate or masaktan ang student. According to Erkmer and UB 2013, as cited in Al-Shamari, Faulkner, and Forlin 2019, behaviorism-based inclusive education practices include the application of behaviorism in inclusive education settings, which clearly appears in the emphasis on students' behavior and performance and manipulating stimulus materials. So examples of behaviorism-based inclusive education practices include in a well-known instructional approaches such as explicit or direct instruction. So practices based on explicit or direct instruction are systematic, involving a step-by-step process provided by the teacher and followed by student during instruction. In addition, explicit or direct instruction-based practices that break down tasks into their smallest elements are widely used for teaching students with special educational needs in inclusive education classroom. According to Piaget, cognitivism focuses on the attributes of one's thinking, memory, self-reflection, and motivation to teach. Cognitivism-based inclusive education practices are implemented by applying different instructional approaches focused on learning activities such as note-taking by Boyle and Rivera 2012, underlining Swanson, Orozco, and Lucier 2014, summarizing Ritrak and Alessandrini 1990, writing to learn, outlining and mapping, and use of PQ4R method by Slavin 2009. So what is PQ4R method? PQ4R method stands for review, question, read, reflect, recite, and review. PQ4R method is one of the effective method reading skill. So this method can help the teacher in teaching learning process, and it can help the students to understand of the text so that they can explore their knowledge. So lastly, in the same study by Alshamari Faulkner and Ferdin 2019, constructivism-based inclusive education practices are the application of constructivism in inclusive education settings, which would involve instructional methods and strategies to assist learners to explore complex topics actively. Constructivism-based inclusive education practices emphasize making learning more meaningful and using real-life experiences. So for example, teaching children to add by using comparison about buying apples in the market. According to Steele 2005, another example of constructivism-based inclusive education practice is active learning. Steele suggested that practices such as teaching students to summarize, paraphrase, predict, and use visual images help students with learning disability understand and remember. To TIES, or Increasing Time Instructional Effectiveness, Engagement, and State Support Center, 2018, enumerated different benefits of inclusive education. The first one is support to civil rights. Teachers believe that inclusion is a civil right. Like all students, those with disabilities have the right to attend regular schools and general education classes. I agree with the teachers because we all deserve na maka-learn, maka-experience og activities, maka-gain og knowledge or challenges sa world even if you have disabilities or not. Number 2, integration in community life. As special education, students need to belong in a certain group of people. Dapat kasi yung mga nakakasama nila sa classroom is katulad nila para di sila maka-feel of indifference and they won't be bullied or discriminated, and also for them to have a healthy environment and to not feel any anxiety with the people around them. Third, sense of belongingness and acceptance of differences. An inclusive approach to education challenge practices of separating students and their underlying assumptions. As educators become more successful implementing inclusive practices, fewer students are at risk for experiencing segregation and its potentially devastating effects on learning. It's because this helps them to never think na they can't do anything. With the help of teachers who is working hard to find a fitting task for them, they will be able to think that I can enjoy and I will do this again. And it's good also to give them positive comments para ma-feel nila na belong sila. Number 4, varied learning opportunities. Like other students, children should also enjoy varied learning opportunities that hit their learning needs. It's because all children should grow encountering varied opportunities and challenges. This means na dapat po hindi magbalik-balik ang mga activities and lesson para mas mawiden pa ang learning ng child. Number 5, use of best practices in instructions. Teachers are trained with varied strategies, modalities, and individualized instruction approaches. The children should have the best teachers with experience. Kasi if may experience na ang teacher, they will have their own strategy on how to communicate with their student properly. So that student will be able to feel that they are safe to their teacher, and if the teacher are open to them, so they will be also open to their teachers. Number 6, individualized education in a supportive context. The teachers are well trained in IEP making, the natural flow of productive interaction and learning in general education environments makes them ideal place in which to expect active students' participation and high levels of students' accountability for their performance. TIES 2018. Students with disabilities can practice skills in this supportive learning context, even though specific goals and objectives aligned to the grade level content may vary greatly among students. Relationship with peers. Inclusive learning environments provide opportunities for all children, teachers, parents, community, and other stakeholders to have a very smooth relationship for the improvement of teaching practices so that students won't be shy on talking to others and they will be open to them, especially with their parents and guardians. They will be able to communicate properly. Number 8. Increase instructional support for all students. Inclusion benefits the students because when students with disabilities are educated in general education classes, special educators, and specialized instructional supports in those settings, this results in general education teachers and students having additional expertise more available. TIES 2018. For example, additional personnel can result in smaller instructional groups during language arts and math, which allows more frequent and individualized interaction between teachers and students. In addition, general educators have often remarked that their instructional repertoire has expanded as a result of team teaching with special educators. In this way, special educators and general educators support each other in meeting the educational needs of all children. 9. Improving schools through team building. Team effort and collaboration of all students is essential in an inclusive learning environment. Teamwork not only results in improved instruction for students, it also brings about increased spirit de corps and support among a critical mass of educators in a school building. Positive working relationships and a sense of shared responsibility for students are now recognized as cornerstones of successful school-wide improvement efforts. Relationships established among staff involved in creating inclusive learning experiences can support such initiative, resulting in increased learning for students throughout a school. 10. Parental involvement. The parents are greatly involved in all students' activities. Parents' conferences are regularly conducted. When children is blah blah blah. Parental involvement. The parents are greatly involved in all students' activities. Parents' conferences are regularly conducted. When children with disabilities are included in their local schools, their parents can participate to a greater extent in that school and in the community where the school is located. Parents of included students can be a part of a support network of parents of their children with disabilities, as well as parents of children without disabilities. Such support is more difficult to access when a child's school is a long distance from home or when families do not feel welcome.